Hello and welcome everyone, it is me, TheLaval, also known as the Power Tool Duelist, back for you with another video, and this time on a very special occasion. The channel has reached 100 subscribers last week on Thursday, I think, but I was at a friend's place and also had exams, so I am only getting to this now, and I also have something big to show you guys later. But first I just want to get a really huge thank you out of the way to just each and every one of you guys who keeps tuning in for my videos, who keeps supporting me by just, viewing my videos, getting them out there, and leaving, all these nice comments I just enjoy reading, and that each and every time when I get one of these, you will probably see some examples on screen. Yeah, it really makes my day, especially, if it's something, of course, hyper positive. That always, brightens up the mood a lot. Yeah, but like, in general, I'm very surprised with like how much support a lot of these videos get, since a lot of it is very casual based, and my deck building may or may not be the best at times, but yeah, just seeing some decks like the Machina gadget variants I've posted, they're doing really well, and also the Obelisk video I uploaded, the Obelisk SD video I uploaded last week, that's doing also not too bad. But like, what's probably making me the most happy in the end is like how well the centerpiece of this channel kind of fares. I think, like, yeah, some of the Morphtronic videos might not be my most viewed videos, but they are definitely up there. And I think now that we have reached 100 subscribers, I think introductions are in order. And yeah, you should see me on screen right now, or at least a drawing that my good friend Duelist or Jaden, or just, an amazing guy in general, has done for me. I will leave his Instagram and his Twitter in the description below, so you can check him out there, look at his art, see for yourself if you want to commission something. He's definitely a really chill guy, and I can definitely advise you to check him out if you are looking for some art. So also a huge thank you to you for drawing this for me. And yeah, with all this out of the way, I think we can get into the questions. I have the video right up in front, and we are starting with a banger. Sasuke asked me, how did Morphtronics become my favorite deck? Well, this is based on like 3 major things, I think. One of them being the 5Ds anime, of course. I've watched that a lot. I think, it is still something I think is really cool. How the Morphtronics transform in the anime, they get summoned, Leo slaps Cellphone on his dual discs, and first, the actual Cellphone appears, but then transforms into this little robot. Also, Leo is a big part in this. I think Leo is a absolutely amazing character. I like how much he cares for his sister, and how he kind of matures through the course of 5Ds, which is also definitely something that helped me. And yeah, I think another obvious thing is just Power Tool Dragon. Power Tool Dragon being my favorite card of all time. I think it's such a greatly designed monster, especially, using it as your main guy in your deck, because he does have some protection. He can grab himself, equip spells each turn for, set protection, and also to increase his stats, which is really cool. I really like his concept. And yeah, that also is probably a big reason why I think I touched on this in like the Duelist diary I made like almost a year back when the channel was still a bit smaller. Talked about this. Power to Dragon was my favorite card, and I kind of wanted to play the deck that rightfully belonged to him. Yeah, and lastly, the 2011 Over the Nexus game. I've played that game a lot. I think it's absolutely amazing, and that was kind of my first experience with Morphtronics, and I really liked them there, and that also kind of pushed me in the direction of, you know, getting those cards together, building the deck, which is, you know, of course something I do. I did, and now have done to, you know, the extent that I'm here talking about it with 100 subscribers. Next up, we have Bob Erlandson. What is my favorite trap card to resolve? That is an easy torrential tribute. Since I think like the March or January format, I've kind of been huge on this card because it's been talked about a lot on like even competitive levels. Since then, I've built also a couple of decks that like include Torrential Tribute as a kind of central piece for the strategy. Like some Machina decks or like the Heavy Metal Machina deck come to mind. I think the Machina Gadget, the updated one, heavily also includes Torrential. It's just such a fun card to resolve. I am so good at drawing it. Like if I play it, I'm going to see it. It's almost glued to my hand. And I definitely like resolving it as a card because you can definitely do some fun stuff with it. Next up, we have Ignite coming in with what is my standing on Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop RPGs, and would you be open to play said games? I definitely think tabletops are something really cool and interesting because, you know, of course I'm into, you know, the whole nerd thing. My only experience with D&D so far has been like watching the Carp crew around Magic Carp Use Fly play it shortly, but like definitely if, you know, there would be a group of people that I would find, you know, really cool, and those people would also be up for that, maybe I would be down for playing some D&D. So yeah. Next up, we have Escape123. Least favorite decks to play against. That's an easy one. Most stun decks. I'm saying most because I think for like stun decks in general, Monarchs and Gravekeepers are kind of exceptions because I play Monarchs myself, and I think Monarchs lose to so much more cards than your standard stun deck. And Gravekeepers are just, they're Gravekeepers. They don't do anything anyways. So I don't see the problem with them. But like stuff like True Draco, Guru, or especially Altergeist, that deck has scarred me for life, I think, after facing that once in Dueling Book Ranked. Do not want to go back. I do not want to go back. But yeah, that's probably, you know, flipping floodgates just isn't fun. But I think I'll get to that with a later question again. Then we have my man Anders Flanders, one-man band again. His first question is, what would be your dream household item if a new monster support came out? And I'm going to have to say a toaster, just for some meme reasons in the Phoenix format Discord. Actually, a while ago, Jaden sent me an artwork of a toaster, which I instantly used to make like a custom card in Dueling Book. So a toaster would definitely be, you know, the big meme. But I think also like some maybe bigger electronic appliances, maybe like a TV or a PC could be fun. I think that's like the main thing I like about Morphtronics, that the art style leaves you a lot of options in terms of what you can do with it, which is really cool, to be honest. And the second question is, if you would be a household item, what would you be and why? If I'd be the household item, I'd probably be something in the kitchen, maybe an oven or a microwave. Although I don't microwave that much, but I do enjoy cooking a lot. In, you know, my free time. I've been cooking for like 2 years now for kind of my parents and I. So yeah, that is also a thing. Then we have, oh, Zane, I'm sorry if I butcher your name right here. Daniel Takash. What kind of cards would you give Morphtronics to make them better? I think like I've went over this, I think, in like a small Reddit argument, I guess. Morphtronics don't really need that much in my opinion, which is like why I think it's so sad that it's taken so long for the deck to see new support. But I definitely say a Cellphone Searcher or a way to get to like your main 2 starters in Cellphone and Scopen would definitely be highly appreciated. I take a searchable junk box any day of the week, since junk box is currently unsearchable, and there definitely have been times where I wanted to add that off smartphone and not a repair unit, since repair unit, you know, is also grabbable off Power Tool. And some double tool retrains, honestly, because currently Power Tool Dragon only has like this one themed equip spell, and I think, you know, turning him kind of into a Swiss Army knife of sorts, where you can have different equip spells for different purposes. I think in like that Reddit argument we were talking about something that maybe gives him more protection. So like he is, I don't know, indestructible or gets targeting protection. Maybe something that provides him with a negate of sorts. And then, you know, also maybe something that just hits really hard, kind of in the sense where, you know, the United We Stands that I currently run are. But yeah, in general, I think Morphtronics have not aged terribly. It's just that they lack most comfort cards that a lot of modern decks have, which is kind of, you know, what is weighing them down. What? Ignite strikes again with what is your preferred decks for each type and attribute? I've been debating about this for a long time, but I honestly think I will dedicate a full video to this, because going through each archetype and, you know, talking about reasons why I love it, why I don't, I think is gonna be something that would make for a fun video, so you'll probably have to wait a couple of days for that. But yeah, next up we have Dylan Pickle. What is your completely honest opinion on pendulums? I think the mechanic in itself is really interesting. Especially, you know, with restrictions nowadays, you definitely have to think twice how, when, and where you pendulum summon. And I would honestly like to have a dedicated pendulum dex. I've tried my hands at Endymion, but Endymion is currently a bit too pricey to finish for me. And I have also looked into Doremi chords, or sulfur chords as the TCG calls them, when they were, you know, announced and all the rage. And I think both are really interesting, but like especially with, you know, Electromite not coming back, it's kind of died down, and I don't, you know, really have the time and really don't feel like getting into, you know, picking up a dedicated pendulum deck at the moment, even if I would like one. Next up we have Yozoro Meko asking, how would I build Morphtronics in Duel Links? Well, I've made a Duel Links video in the past, and I have not played Duel Links actively in quite a while, but you will probably see two lists on screen, one being a bit older and one being a bit newer. The newer one should be the one with the alternate art Stardust Dragon. This is, you know, running 2 Boomboxen, since I've pulled those from, you know, the King of Vermilion packs that came out like a couple of weeks ago. But, you know, I'd run 3 Scope and 3 Cellphone, since those are like your big cards, and then you basically have 5 to 6 slots you can fill with level 4s. I think nowadays the most optimal ratio would be maybe 3 Boomboxen, 2 Slingen, and 1 or 2 Radions, depending on how much space you can make. You can definitely think about Hate Runate in this deck, since it's most likely going to get very OTK heavy, or you wanna, wipe your opponent's back row and establish a Power Tool Dragon, which is in turn going to be a bit tougher to out. Even if Karma Cut is a card now in Duel Links, back when I was, getting to Platinum with Morphtronics, that wasn't a thing. But this would be, a rough look on, how would I build Morphtronics in Duel Links. Mostly summon Power Tool Dragon, equip him, and try to hit in an OTK. Maybe look into United We Stand. United We Stand is in Duel Links. I haven't picked up a playset yet, but that would also definitely be an easy inclusion. Svetomir Shiv asks, what is your profession? Has to be something with computers or technology, knowing your love for Morphtronics, lol. You are not entirely wrong. I currently study media design. You will probably see the German word on the screen if you want to look it up, because it's a very literal translation. It's mostly focused on either, the usage of media nowadays, or working with media, like, editing videos, creating, art or other digital things. I'm still, starting out, and it's probably like one of the things why I started this YouTube channel, because I really do enjoy, creating this content and sharing a hobby I have online. Next up, we have Dunda Super asking, why don't you love me? First of all, since, I might have misheard something, but from what I can recall, you are in a relationship. So I don't get why you are asking this question, but, you do you. I won't judge. Next up, we have BreakTube outside of Discord. Do you have a Steam ID, a PSN ID, an Xbox ID, or a Nintendo friend code? I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna have to disappoint you on the PSN and Xbox. I only own PC and Nintendo consoles. But you can definitely shoot me a DM on Discord, and we can see what I can give you, although I don't have online for my Switch. But like, my Steam account should be rather easy to find. It's just TheLaval, so that's the thing. Yeah. And then, last but not least, we have another one from Aliscape123. Worst designed cards other than Maxi. I think basically basically every generic Floodgate could fall in this category. I just don't like the the sort of game state Floodgates provide, because a Floodgate gets flipped and that immediately has to force a response, and if that response is not immediate, it turns the whole game into, can player B draw an out? And it just isn't fun, I think. And also, just sitting there under, there can only be one skill drain, and setting and passing. Like, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh was like that 10 years ago, but like, if I wanted to play that Yu-Gi-Oh, I would play a legacy format. But before I get too riled up, what are, other cards I could think of? I think those are, the main ones, where I'm really like, yeah, why Konami? But, Maxi also a really big one. I think, these auto-win cards that kind of force you to, not play for a turn are kind of, yeah, not really good, and I'm glad Maxi is not around in our format. But yeah, those have been all the questions. I'm not sure how, I'll figure out the background now with my character in front of it. But I'll see that during editing. I will just, take a quick moment to just give a huge thank you just to, every one of you guys who watched, and also again to Jaden for drawing this character for me. It really does look amazing. Thanks for your work. And yeah, with all this out of the way, I will just, you know, thank every one of you guys for watching and everything that you have done for this channel. And I will see you guys again next time. But until then, goodbye.